Welcome to the Rift, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody else, as we walk into the grand final and our only match of the grand final for tonight, meaning the stakes are high. We're not sitting here where somebody loses and they're like, oh, it's all good, we'll go next. No, no. You lose here, you lose out on your $50 prize. So the stakes are high. The fire is burning, and both of these teams want to walk away not only with the prize, but some of these guys have something to prove, not only to the opponents, uh, to their teammates, but to the world as well. And this is going to be a doozy to watch. If it's been like the last games we've watched as well, there may just be massacres left, right, and center jumping all around. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled, you keep your tabs open, and you turn your volume down because there will be a lot of shouting tonight.
Oh, absolutely. And that's just purely to the fact that they're both comps just want a team fight. We're looking at 5v5s, and what's that mean as far as the early game is that yes, they'll be fighting, but I imagine they'll be in these sort of choke points near objectives. They're looking towards to fight for a real goal. So these early Dragons are a big point of contention for both team comps. I don't think one team necessarily needs to focus them harder than the other, but they'll both want to scale up purely to the fact that it just facilitates so much easier to execute team fights later on if you're able to get those first two Drakes. So I'd like to see both junglers path down towards that. And for the first time tonight, they're actually going to be pathing in opposite directions. So B Syrup's going to opt for a blue side start, and Volibear's actually going to start on the opposite side of the map at his blue. And so both junglers, I doubt, will actually meet each other. And it's interesting. I like how B Syrup's actually going towards the bot lane, but I feel like in another way, Quicksand, you could also acknowledge that I feel like ELOceania should probably be fine in that isolated 2v2, and you can look towards supporting any of your other lanes and trying to get fed, but it depends where the pressure's going. As we look towards the mid lane, for a brief period of time, Galio's actually managed to find the push into Galaxy Bear and is immediately running towards the bot side. Oh, hold on.
Ooh, and there's a nice little engagement going here on the top side as well. It looks like Renata can't make it out in time, with Dad's looking for another one. He is forced to dash away with the Ignite set on top of him. Wook may not be able to walk up to try and get that trade once again. A wonderful little engage here coming from Biggest Pex, and he manages to shield his ADC well enough that he can get away without getting killed. A nice little trade going to the bot lane to kick it off.
That's just that ELOceania. We knew there was some sort of action, some sort of damage that was inevitable to happen there. And just the nature of the matchup really is Penguin might find himself in a bit of trouble with Yoru hopping on in.
Yoru coming in with the gank as well. He gets a stun, but he's also thrown over the shoulder of Urgot himself. That wonderful little throw here. Galaxy is also left isolated as well in a little bit of a hard matchup against Amplifier. That magic shield not showing yet. And that trade actually goes not only even, but a little bit into the favor of Galaxy Bear with these abilities dropping left, right, and center. And it looks like Penguin at the top lane as well has managed to walk away unscathed. He has lost half his health, but it does mean that he will be able to stay in lane and continue to farm a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's just that issue that while Amplifier is finding some decent trades, just due to the nature of being a melee into a ranged champion, means that as he has to walk away, Galaxy Beast is going to free hit him, knowing that those much longer cooldowns. Oh, hold on.
And in comes Yoru as well. That taunt does not hit that lightning, which unfortunately was the center of that gank. And it seems like Galaxy Bear is able to walk away without even worrying about being taunted or trapped or anything, really.
No, not at all. And Sanitary Metal with his wave pushed in means that he just gets to farm safely. Penguin does have a decent look, actually, finding little ways to come on in. But Brother knows where Leona is, and so I feel like the bot lane of Stompers are just playing with fire a little bit here, Quick. They're being probably maybe a little bit too more aggressive than they need to. I think they definitely outscale the Leo and Samira, but in terms of just raw team fighting power, Alpha needed those leads to head towards the bot lane, and that's what they got in a first blood for Gay Dads. Exactly what he needs. He hasn't even gone to reset yet as well, so still with that longsword, meaning that there's not too much of, a potential of maybe another kill happening in the bot lane.
Once again, Yoru looking for another trade. He does get the throw over the shoulder as well, straight into Sanitary, but it looks like he just can't get anything else. He's looking for a taunt going straight into Galaxy Bear as well, but that flash coming in just in time, meaning that they can channel and back with their life in their hands, but Penguin has been taken out by his opponent laner and that gank as well to come and back it up. Penguin has been set a little bit back here as well. It's been very even with the trades looking top lane as well. That kill may have managed to set a significant difference.
Leona.
Mace gets pulled in, is forced to turn around and engage because he knows that his life is going to be forfeit even if he tries to run away. And it looks like he is going to be taken down as well. The bot lane, that taunt is going down on Galaxy Bear once again. That ranged melee showing right here as well. Despite walking away his trade, even though he may have had a magic shield as well through his passive, he still does not benefit. But we've had a couple of trades across the board, and unfortunately, both of them have been towards one side as well. Stompers have been able to take both the little kills here, and they've been able to take an advantage of 1 to 2 kills now.
They have, and I mean, some real close calls there, in all honesty. I feel like not so much a close call in the bot lane. Leona was just sure to fall without her flash because she actually used it to get that first blood for Samira quick. Means that just stepping up too far spelt disaster for Biggest Pex. Gives over a kill to Wook, and now that bot lane lead's really stabilized. And then in the mid lane, I mean, Galaxy Bear having to flash there, otherwise would have fallen to Amplifier, who, for me, is putting on the pressure where I didn't think he really would. I thought he'd be looking to roam a lot more than he is, just punishing Galaxy Bear as much as he can in the 1v1.
Well, the
But
head flash
hold
over
on.
the wall as well, but that hook completely misses Amplify. Amplify is going to try to use that taunt, but unfortunately, it does mean people walk towards him regardless, not as he's trying to run away. And it means that he has been killed in the end with a nice little triple kill and, a triple man on him, and that kill goes in the favor of Orianna.
Yeah, it does, and I think really important that Galaxy Bear actually gets the kill there over the Udyr and Leona. That's the person you want gold on. So really just well executed by Alpha. Amplify stepping up a little bit too far. He actually knew that Leona was there.
Oh, Yori is going to try and take a pick on Galaxy Bear here. He does get the stun, and he's trying to chase up. That lightning bolt does strike where he gets his shield, but it wasn't enough of a shield to mean that he wants to stay in combat. Yoro is still walking the border of life and death, but here comes the Galio ultimate as well, trying to back up his teammate as well, leaving Syrup all by himself. Galaxy Bear just can't participate, and down goes the jungler. And look who's sitting right in the pit. That's right, it's the dragon. If Yoro can hold on to his life here, that is a free dragon on the line. Amplify is walking up, but once again, he was completely isolated in a triangle between all three of the Weekend Warrior members. Weekend Warrior successfully forcing...
as well. Like without Samira ultimate, I'm not sure how much they can go for, but Gaydad's is posturing incredibly aggressively. B Syrup, unfortunately, Quick said, felt like he wanted Orianna to play with him there, but Galaxy Bear was too chunked out, said, I don't want any of this. And so B Syrup suddenly found himself in a 1v2 and fell just like that. And that means any hope of Alpha actually grabbing the dragon is gone, and neither team collect it. So that first Drake of the game is still up and available for these two comps that want to team fight as much as possible. But you can tell, I think once all those key abilities are back, when certain members actually have their ultimate abilities, I'm thinking of people like the Volley Bear, like the Samira. That'll be where
a nice little toss off the shoulder as well, coming from Penguin here, tossing Sanitary over his shoulder. I mean, Sanitary has to break the cage and walking away. Despite that trade being half and half, it looks like Penguin just doesn't have enough mana to try and hold on to what he's looking for. Sanitary does have a little bit of an advantage here, and this lane is just, it's very, very back and forth, but it's like the regular trade you see with tanks. These guys can't take, they are still quite tanky, but in this scenario, they seem to be trading a lot more damage than neither of them want to, meaning this farm just like it's still going down, but these trades are much more risky.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just that the showing of either one of them can go for the kill. Either one of them actually have the damage to go for it. It's just that bait and switch. It's who it, like, as soon as Urgot actually pushes forward to try and find the flip, it's all on Sanitary to actually outplay, because as soon as Urgot's actually jumped in, he's got no way to escape unless he actually flashes out. And there's Ignite TP advantage when Ignite actually comes back off cooldown. And so this Camille's going to get pretty scary for Penguin to deal with. Not something that Urgot actually scales well into, but will take a while to get there for Camille. I mean, Camille's been pretty hard in recent patches, been hit pretty hard with a lot of nerfs. So definitely not the strongest champ early that it used to be, but Sanitary's managed to find some sort of a lead, which is fantastic because the champ still scales into the late game incredibly well. And you know what it does even better into is when it's got a Galio paired with it, because that is just the easiest Hextech Ultimatum combo that you'll ever see. And there's some members without their flash. I mean, Biggest Peck did opt to take flash this game, but this guy's so aggressive that he probably won't have it come next team fight. Then obviously Beast Turret with the Ghost.
Like they have managed to catch Udyr here out alone. Udyr does not manage. Oh, he does manage to get the Scuttle Crab, meaning that his team can hold on to that little movement boost here. Galaxy Bear able to use his ultimate to pull everyone in and save his jungler. But that Rift Herald looks like it is going to go down in the favor of the red side. Ooh, and it looks like that shield coming on Camille just manages to keep her alive as well. Syrup being taken down, leaving Galaxy Bear all on his own in a land that he cannot survive in. and as well that Rift Hold going into the hands of the red side. Exactly what they're looking for.
Yeah, bit of a disaster for Weekend Warriors Alpha. I think second time where just that jungle mid duo in B Syrup and Galaxy Bear not on the same page, Quicksand. And one of them wants to make one type of play. Galaxy Bear wants to be a bit more reserved, a bit more calculated with his play, look for those big team fights. But the aggression from this Udyr just can't be matched. And it makes sense because Galaxy Bear's champion's not all about those early skirmishes. He wants to farm up, which he's done an incredible job of doing, actually, sitting at just quite maybe a 30 CS
Ooh,
gap.
and here
Oh,
comes
hold
the
on.
throw over the shoulder by
Good
Penguin,
flip.
but Yoro is here to try to get the trade, forcing the flash up, but does get the stun, and it looks like it was a worthy gank in the end, forcing a nice little flash out of Penguin, meaning that not only does he is he going to struggle a little bit more when he wants to go in for the kill, but at the same time, if Sanitary ever decides to turn around and try to get that execute on Penguin, that final little push and shove in these 1v1s and little trades they've been taking, Penguin doesn't have that option to press the get out of jail free card.
And so important that he flashes out as well quick, because if Camille got another kill, they'd be sitting at a very accelerated split push side laner, who I don't think Alpha actually have an answer into come the late game. We're thinking like post 15, 20 minutes, who actually beats Camille in the 1v1? I don't think Orianna does, and I don't think Urgot does. And I don't know why you'd ever want to send an AD carry to deal with something like a Camille that's fed. So could be a point of contention for Alpha here. Need to be
Well, here
careful.
comes Yoro as well. That taunt does land this time. This is exactly what they're looking for. That Galaxy Bear does try to throw the ultimate down to slow them any longer. That shield does come up, but it looks like it isn't enough to hold off the force that is Yoru. And there goes down a kill on Galaxy Bear.
Oh, hold on. Penguin's done well here.
We were just talking about Sanitary. Does have the ultimate up, and drops it down despite Penguin not having his flash up. He still shoots out his chains and pulls Sanitary into death. It looks like flash was not necessary. And we have another engagement going on down here as well. We have that Galio ultimate popping after the taunt has been dropped, and it looks like Brother has managed to drop his ultimate. It did not cause the chaos he was looking for. And Amplifier, somehow still holding on to his health, does not get the trade down and tries to use his wind to deal as much damage as he can to Gaydad, but Gaydad's still holding on to life. And it looks like they have been completely wiped out. That is an ace out of nowhere on the side of Alpha. Wow. That fight was so split up and very, very decisive all over the place. It was less like a team fight and more multiple little fights going on all over this bottom river. That was very, very impressive. And you can see the communication that is coming from Alpha here to be able to try to split everybody up. I mean, despite Alpha trying to, Amplifier trying to dash forward and sacrifice himself and separate the team more, it just wasn't enough.
No, it wasn't, and I think it all starts in the top lane with Penguin Domo finding a pretty well executed 1v1 onto the Camille that at that stage would have been quite a far ahead from the Urgot. So managing to actually find the flip and the reverse, sort of play onto what Sanitary wanted to achieve is really important, because as I was mentioning, they need someone to be able to match Camille, and as long as Urgot's enough into the game to do it, and Urgot is a champion that does scale enough, and does scale decently well, you want him to be able to win those 1v1s, to find those fights, and he was able to. So that was the first really big point of victory for Alpha. The second point was B Syrup finally being on the same page of his team and just tanking the absolute world. Like, insane frontlining coming out of B Syrup just allowed Gaydads to get away with so much. The other big point of Alpha was Gaydads actually using that Samira W to block the Renata ultimate. And that just felt a massive, massive part of the team fight, because that is such a big, big key aspect of Stomper's ability to actually make these team fights work, to disrupt the key members. Once that was gone, it was just a bunch of minions waiting to get killed by Alpha, and killed they did. Galaxy Bear finds a decent ultimate at the start of it as well, despite getting picked off, and so just Alpha being a little bit more cleaner as far as their mechanics, a little bit more certain of what they wanted to do, and find themselves in a pretty decent lead at this stage in the game.
Syrup and the rest of his team getting into little poke engagements down in that bottom river as well. They are contesting over the dragon, which is now available, and they're going to. And it looks like Alpha has decided to start on this dragon. Can the Stompers try to face back? Can they put the pressure on despite losing a massive team fight before? Will they walk in again? And it looks like Yoro has been picked off with a nice cheeky ultimate coming from Galaxy Bear. They're going to push you. Now they have all 5 members. There's a Renata ultimate they've been looking for with that little berserk as well. But it just doesn't set up. That bullet time dropping down on the field everywhere. But unfortunately not doing enough damage to actually take down anyone on Alpha, which means they force Amplifier to dash away. They have 3 more extra kills in their pocket. And now they have a dragon as well. Very, very well played coming from Alpha here.
Yeah, Alpha managed to turn that fight that initially starts all on the back end of G-Bear's ultimate to pull back Yoru. I think Stompers were very content with actually leaving that Dragon Pit and not fighting, but G-Bear wasn't going to have any of that. Pulls back in the jungler, and that's a really big part of the front line for Stompers suddenly gone. And so it was just clean up City, and Alpha knew that. Leona and Udid teaming up together to just run down the members of Wook and Bradarosis, who are now sitting at a pretty significant disadvantage over what they want to achieve in a team fight versus what Alpha want to do. Alpha want to play in the chaos. They want to hard engage and
Ooh,
all
and it looks like
in.
we have a little engagement
Here we
going in the
go.
bush. We have Biggest Pex trying to hide in there and set something up, and he's going to be forced to dash onto his opponent. But here comes the Gallios as well. Amplifier managing to engage completely perfectly, exactly where he wanted to. And there's the Inferno trigger coming from Gaydads. What is that damage? And Amplifier has been forced out of the fight, and so has Wook. And it looks like Gaydads can walk up as far as he wants. He does get rooted, and he does manage to get that first trade on Wook as well. But he does not see Yoru coming with the volley bear as well. But it seems like he has a little sixth sense, and he's forced it back up. Yoru has managed to dash and managed to get the stun. That W does come out, and there's another Inferno trigger as well. Yoru barely escapes as well. Look at that shield as well. It's kill or die, and it looks like the latter has occurred for Yoru here. Now, that is a wonderful display of Gaydad's skill on Samira and Samira's skill as a whole. That Inferno trigger is such a deadly ultimate when used in the right situation. And there it was, a showcase for everybody to see. And now we have another engagement going on here in the top lane as well, which is going to be nothing but a light little tease, meaning that Sanitary has pushed Urgot off his tower and can back into CSing.
Yeah, pretty crazy coming out of the Samira there. Managed to find, what was that? Like a 1v3 or a 1v4? And actually starts with his Leona being picked off at the very start there. So it wasn't like he actually had a lot of peeling or a lot of support. That was all on his ability to outplay, and outplay he did. So it must feel really good for the other members of Alpha to see your AD carry be able to do that, because you've got so many enablers of this Samira who weren't even there for that fight. And if Samira is going to 1v4 like that, what's going to happen when she is CC to play off of? She is a front line to hide behind. I mean, pretty hard to see a way that Stompers actually win a team fight if that's how it's going to go 1v3, 1v4.
Yeah, I had to say, Alpha is really getting their claws into this team fight kind of dynamic here. Not only did they have that massive ace in that team fight a couple of minutes ago, they've also managed to get the dragon, and then they've also managed to show individual proficiency as well, standing with Gaydads all on his own up against 4 members of the enemy team. And we have a nice little dive against the tower. We're going to see how the team works as a whole. We have Sanitary jumping over the wall, but all by himself, and that cage was really something that he trapped himself in there as well, trying to jump in on the enemy team, keeping them trapped. And Yoru has been killed as well with some damage coming over the wall here from Penguin. We have a flash in as well from Gaydags, but he may have gotten a bit too big for his boots, and he goes down. That is a massive force of damage coming from the side of Alpha they have just lost, but it does not matter. It looks like down goes another. Down goes Amplifier as well, sitting on that Galio. That is 3 members dead on the side of Stompers. They're going to push the Nexus turret. That is 1 Nexus turret down. That is 2. And that they do not get the Shelly down as well. And it looks like we have then Leona pushing up too far, gets thrown over the wall. Can they take the Nexus here? The Nexus is exposed, and it's up to Wook to try and deal as much damage as he can before everything goes down. And it looks like these respawn timers have been perfectly timed. And the rest of the team has come back in. Is this Nexus going down? It looks like it isn't. Holding on with the grip and the tip of its fingers, barely staying in the scheme of the game. And it looks like these guys have managed to write their legacy further. They do not want this story to end. They want these skins. They want to prove their skill. They want to prove their desire to win this game, and they refuse to let it end now. What are we going to see come out of Alpha here? Now they have an exposed Nexus. They have dragons. They have every advantage imaginable. They have almost 10,000 gold on the lead of their opponents. But maybe, just maybe, we will see something amazing come out of the Stompers today.
Well, we'll have to see. It would be an incredible comeback coming out from these guys. And, you know, strong performances individually, but they've been matched by a very aggressive and very confident team in Alpha. And you can see that in gameplay, even if you know them behind the scenes. You've got some very confident players. But they're playing like it as well. And the key part of that is this Samira. 8-1-5, not afraid to take a fight, but part of being confident is sometimes you can find yourself getting a bit too big for your boots, like you said, Quicksand. And as Samira flashes in, actually falls disappointingly, and
Oh, and here
crucially
we have
means,
another
oh,
engagement as well, going down on Euro as well. Finally, bigger Pex getting the engagement that he was looking for, not getting isolated for his team, and Gaydad's going for another kill as well. And it looks like they've decided this is their opportunity. This is where they're going to end the game. Down goes Yoru, and now that means there's only 4 members left on the Stompers. They can push this one down. That is an open Nexus, and only 4, now 5 members to defend it with that. Oh, sorry. Only 4 members to defend it. And that Nexus is completely open. We see the Galileo dropping down. They realize that there's massive threats coming from left, right, and center. They just can't defend fast enough. Oh my God. The Fountain does just enough damage to take down another member. Can they get down Penguin as well?
oh my
Leona
God,
is all on her
again.
own, trying to take this down. A Galaxy
Oh my
can't do it. Leona
God.
can't do it. It looks like Penguin can't do it either. No one gets down to this Nexus, and their defense is rock solid tight. I would say you'd have a harder time breaking past these guys in the Great Wall of China. This is incredible defense that they're showing here. Despite only having 4 members down, the 5th respawned just in time to help it clean up. This has me on the edge of my seat. These guys keep defending, and now they're winning. And if you take a look at the goal counts, that gap is closing because they're managing to defend these properly, and they're managing to increase the stakes and force a little timer, a little bit of pressure, a little bit of slowed momentum, and it looks like the pendulum is now potentially swinging in another's favor.
Yeah, and it's going for pretty much the only play that they can make, but I don't think this is going to pay off dividends. They need to go for the Baron because they know that Alpha will have all of the prio once they actually respawn because of that open Nexus, and unfortunately this is just the play they had to make. And you get desperate at this stage, especially when your Nexus is open, but with Baron, you would think, Quicksand, you would think that Alpha will be able to win this one. Yoru, though, close to finding the smite. Both junglers actually missing smite there, which is pretty interesting to see. Eventually being last hit by the Udyr passive at around 30 HP. So let's see if they can end. Yoru's at a similar timer than last time, about 20 seconds as Alpha walks into the base. Can they find an end angle here? Can they break open the Nexus? I mean, it's been a bit of trolling from both sides to get to this point. Let's see what they can do,
and
though.
Now they can push with the Baron. The Nexus hasn't regenerated enough health to truly stand up, and it looks like the Nexus isn't even going to get a chance to show its stuff. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Your winners of tonight is Weekend Warriors Team Alpha, taking victory of this game with the 3rd push of the Nexus that they have finally attempted, with that nice little Baron buff on the side, that lower Nexus health, and that flowing, that smooth teamwork that we have seen from them in the last couple of games tonight. That was an amazing push, an amazing play, and an amazing game to watch. I have to say, both of these teams put up a great fight and put me at the edge of my seat. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Despite Alpha having such a big lead, the opposing side just had such pressure, such will to win, and such desire to stay in the game. They managed to hold on tight, and they did not lose their hope. They did not lose what they were looking for, and that just kept me so invested in what was going on. But it looks like Alpha did have the greater will, the greater resolve in the end, and they have taken home their $50 RP prize. But will they give it $10 per person? Maybe there's an MVP of tonight that's going to take all 50. I mean, it's up to them. They're going to decide how they want to enjoy these $50. And yeah, it's a nice little victory for them to walk home with tonight. Casual, what did you think?
It is nice. I think that was a pretty convincing game coming out from Alpha. The only points where it was, I would say, probably the closest were those insane Nexus defenses. And look, I'm going to take a hot take. I think that's definitely on Alpha's misplay versus Stomper's ability to outplay at the end there. I think Alpha, for whatever reason, were choosing to actually take the fight versus just hitting the Nexus. But look, at the end of the day, I'm happy that what I believe was the better team tonight won. It seemed pretty convincing overall. MVPs definitely go towards someone like Galaxy Bear or Gay Dads in particular. I think both of them chose their time to shine. I think Galaxy Bear in that game 2 of tonight's stream definitely was the strongest. Took a bit more of a supporting facilitator role tonight for sure, and just let his AD carry shine in Gay Dads. And I think overall this Samira was something, an absolute force to behold, because not only was he fighting 1v4 and 1v5, which is crazy to do as an AD carry, but once his team was able to actually back him up and sit with him, then it was just over. There was no way for Stompers to get in, but in our game 1, Stompers did win. They did play really, really well, so I think congratulations to Wook, those guys who don't usually play together. And potentially for some of the viewers tonight, an expectant win coming out of Weekend Warriors Alpha, but always still a welcome one. So well done to those guys. I think an overall successful stream. I would like to, though, formally apologise on behalf of myself, Quicksand, and our broadcaster for a bit of issues. It's no one's fault that these things happen on stream. It's an incredibly hard job to be behind the camera, dealing with a lot of the scene changes and the ability to mix audio and things like that. So where it did crash, we do apologize, but hopefully it's still been entertaining enough. And as the weeks go on and we see more of ELO, more of that beautiful orange border, our streams will only get better, Quicksand. They'll only get a bit more streamlined, easier to run. We'll have more people hopefully joining us as far as teams, players, and even viewers online. So we'll have to see as we continue what our progression looks like. But for tonight, that's pretty much it. Unless you've got any final comments, we might be saying goodnight to the boys and congratulations to Weekend Warriors Alpha.
Yeah, I gotta say, I mean, I had a great time casting with you, Casual. Since that's our first dance together, and a big shout out to everybody on the production team as well. They're making this all happen. Big shout out to Toots once again. You know, he's setting up these tournaments all on his own. He started to establish this. He's the one contributing to these prize pools. Amazing fella, setting up an amazing tournament, and I'd love to see where it goes. And as you said, Casual, it is only gonna get better from here. Stay tuned, because tonight was amazing. Tonight was a great game to watch. All of them, I had a great time casting, and I hope you had just as much fun sitting at home watching. And this is ELO. I would say have a good night, everybody. Congratulations to the Weekend Warriors for taking their victory tonight. And I hope that your water that you wake up to when you at 3 a.m. is the greatest glass of water you've ever drunk.
Thanks for the sign out, Quick. Good night, everyone. Thanks for the cast. Thanks for the games, and we'll see you guys later on next week, probably actually for round 3. But until then.